Hello beautiful person, welcome back to my channel. Today is a surprise video because I realized that I needed to talk about this. It's going to be really informative, analyzing what happened in 2019 between WGA, Writers Guild of America, and ATA, Association of Talent Agents, and what's happening right now in 2021. October 14, 2021, between International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees and AMPTP, Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers. These are long names. Let me know if you want me to keep making these types of videos where I analyze what's happening in the industry, because I read about it a lot. You should too. And I love thinking about it and analyzing things, but I never thought about talking about it. Now on to this video. Let's recap 2019 if you don't know what happened. April 27, 2019, Vulture wrote, WGA slams Hollywood's 4 biggest agencies with lawsuit. If you don't know the big 4, you should. CAA, Creative Artists Agency. WME, William Morris and DeVore. And then ICM Partners, and 4th is UTA, United Talent Agency. This article says that the fight between writers and agents just keeps heating up. WGA sued these 4 biggest agencies in Hollywood. Writers Guild of America says that packaging fees is not only bad for writers, but unlawful too. If you don't know, packaging means that agencies attach big talents, big names, directors to a script to make it more appealing for the investors and the producers to buy. Now, what is packaging fee? Let's take a look at this. The production company pays the agency a fixed percentage, usually 3%, of the network-based license fee after each episode is produced. An equal amount deferred out of profits, if any, and a percentage of the profit, usually 10%. So the agents who are representing writers basically get paid by the employer of the employee. Employee meaning writers and employer meaning producers. So agencies are getting paid directly by the employer of their clients. In other words, agencies are getting a direct percentage from the final product. And this is regardless of if their client, meaning the writer, is still on the project or not. We can also read a similar thing here in this Vulture article. If a series becomes profitable, that 10% figure applies to the show's gross profits for the life of the program, even if all of an agency's clients leave the show before it's over. For example, ICM has reportedly made hundreds of millions from Friends over the years. So they package the script, they sell it to a network or a studio, and they get a compensation in return, which makes them a producer indirectly. It's very confusing the way agencies found ways to make more money than their clients. So WGA basically says that it produces conflict of interest between agents and writers. Agents basically get paid because of the writer, and plus they get paid because of the packaging fee. Sometimes they make more money than their clients. Read the second article in the resources down below in the video descriptions if you're interested to know more about this. But basically, even if the writer leaves the show, agents continue to make money from it because of the packaging fee. Therefore, they don't really care about what they should be caring about, what they were hired to do in the first place, which is to look out for their clients, look out for the writers. WGA fought so hard about this because writers were getting hurt by it. They're not getting the representation that they want from their agents, and they're not getting what they deserve. I'm gonna quote from the second article here. If agents aren't commissioned, the WGA says they have no incentive to negotiate for higher writer salaries. The Guild also argues that agents being paid by their clients' employers is a conflict of interest, and that agents sometimes make more than their clients. So this fight aka negotiations between WGA and ATA, went on for months. For some agencies, it went on for 1 year, and with WME, it went on for 2 years. So then, WGA threatens to tell their members to walk away from their agents. And that's kind of scary for ATA because that means big writers and big directors may quit these 4 big agencies for a very long time until a deal is reached. So this happened when I was doing my MFA in screenwriting in Los Angeles, and I know that most of our teachers actually walked away from their agents. April 22nd, 2019, more than 7,000 writers have fired their agents. This is against the agencies who didn't sign WGA's new Code of Conduct, it says on that line. And in this article, it says last month, 8,274 WGA members took part in a vote authorizing the Guild's leadership to implement the new code, which bans packaging fees and requires agencies to sever their ties to affiliated production entities. Of those who cast ballots, 7,882, which is 95.3%, voted in favor, and only 392 people, which was 4.7%, voted no. Sounds like the vote of the crew members last week to go for a strike, right? How many of them said yes? 98, 99%. We'll talk about that. I want to read this sentence from this Deadline article. The WGA West has about 10,000 active members and WGA East has about 5,000. The Guild said in its note to members today that as of April 12, 2019, records showed 8,800 current members with an agent, and that 99% of the members who signed the statement of support have fulfilled their pledge by terminating their non-franchised agencies. So when this was happening, our Business of Screenwriting classes during my MFA in screenwriting turned into a talk about agents versus managers. And let me tell you about manager versus agents real quick. A manager guides your career, while agents deal with your contracts. So WGA basically challenged the industry in 2019 and in 2020 because they realized how much writers are getting paid was not the agent's priority or the best interest. How much agents are getting paid is the priority of the agents. Are we surprised? I'm not. Now, this one article conveys the agency's point of view in this matter. The one thing packaging agencies have apologized for and promised to change is the lack of transparency when it comes to packaging fees. So, the writers had no idea about their show being packaged and agencies making money off of their show, even if they quit. And apparently, WME and CAA recognized the lack of transparency that created this mistrust that they must earn back. So that's nice. Then, during these negotiations, ATA offered to give 1% of the packaging fee to the writers at some point. Then, further, WME and CAA was moving into producing content, and they claimed that it was separate from their talent agencies. So, this conflict in 2019 went on and on between WGA and the 4 big agencies. And in the meantime, writers didn't have agents. We only depended on our managers to find work for us. Then in 2020, WGA reached to an agreement with UTA, then ICM Partners, then CAA, and WME was the only one left. And in February 2021, almost 2 years later, WGA negotiated agreement with WME. And wow, what a fight. The Wrap reported on February 5, 2021, Writers Guild reaches deal with WME to eliminate packaging fees in Hollywood. Then afterwards, on February 8, 2021, The Wrap reported WGA thanks members after packaging fee victory. We are unbroken. Now, let's talk about what's happening right now between crew members and producers, meaning IATSE, International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, and AMPTP, Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. So if you're in the film industry, or if you want to be in the film industry, and you have access to news about the film industry, you might be seeing some people posting about the work conditions in the industry. I'm gonna put the number one meme I saw right here. This is how it started for me. Then I saw a reel about this script being on a set for 16 hours and not getting paid overtime. Then they get called like 6 hours later to work on the set again. It's really bad. Crew members don't get to spend much time with their families. They sometimes don't get paid for their overtime. So these are really unfair for the crew members, and that's what the fight is about. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. IATSE is demanding respect. They want less hours, humanly hours. They want to be treated like humans. This Variety article writes about the industry coming together last fall on hard-fought agreement on COVID safety protocols for productions. So the COVID safety protocols implemented in the fall of 2020 have been a big factor fueling the push for better working conditions. Now, I know that what WGA fought for was essentially money, the packaging fees, and how they were getting less paid than their agents, but they fought to change the unfair conditions of the industry. And same is happening with the crew members right now. They're fighting to change the unfair conditions in the industry. On September 21, 2021, on the website of IATSE, they wrote that AMPTP has failed to work with us on addressing the most grievous problems in their workplaces: excessively unsafe and harmful working hours, unlivable wages for the lowest paid crafts, consistent failure to provide reasonable rest during meal breaks, between workdays, and on weekends. And fourth is workers on certain new media streaming projects get paid less, even on productions with budgets that rival or exceed those of traditionally released blockbusters. These are true things that are happening to the crew members in the industry. Now, let's take a look at this other thing that they wrote, which broke my heart. These issues are real for the workers in our industry, and change is long overdue. However, the explosion of streaming combined with the pandemic has elevated and aggravated working conditions, bringing 60,000 behind-the-scenes workers covered by these contracts to a breaking point. We risked our health and safety all year working through the pandemic to ensure that our business emerged intact. Now we cannot and will not accept a deal that leaves us with an unsustainable outcome. And later comes the vote for strike, vote to authorize strike action. So Hollywood Reporter reports on October 11 that more than 98% of the members voted yes to authorize a strike as the union negotiates a new agreement. Just like WGA voted to authorize writers to walk away from their agents back in 2019. Very similar conditions and very similar historical events in Hollywood. These are really important to read about and learn about, compare and contrast to see what's going on in the industry and to predict where the industry is going. That's why I wanted to do this video. And if you're more curious to read about it, check the video description. I'm gonna have so many resources down below. I'm gonna link everything that I mentioned in this video so you can check it further for yourself and see the differences and similarities between these two events, WGA versus ATA in 2019 and IATSE versus AMPTP in 2021. Now I'm going to continue to read what's happening right now after the union voted yes to authorize strike. October 12, Deadline article says International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees says AMPTP repeatedly refuses to do what it will take to achieve a fair deal. Either they don't recognize what has changed in our industry and among our members, or they don't care, or both. And they say that if the situation is not resolved, October 18 is set for the strike. We're talking about 60,000 members going on a strike on Monday, October 18 at 12:01 a.m. IATSE announces that the pace of bargaining doesn't reflect any sense of urgency. Without an end date, we could keep talking forever. That's really true. Our members deserve to have basic needs addressed now. So they say that a deal must be reached by the end of this weekend to avert a strike. So let's look at what I mentioned in this video at the beginning. WGA, they left their agents and their negotiations went on for over a year. So this took so much time, this change for WGA and ATA, it took so much time. Even though WGA did a strike and big writers and big directors left their agencies. I have no idea what's going to happen between IATSE and AMPTP. I'm not saying that it's going to be the same thing. Maybe theirs will resolve fast. I really hope they will get what they want as soon as possible. Working conditions is no joke in this industry. And we are all passionate about filmmaking, but not to a point that we break our health, break our bodies, and not to a point where you're not getting what you deserve, even though you're working in the industry for years. I usually make videos about beginners, low budget projects, non-union sets, of course, because I'm in the industry for just 2 years and I'm talking about what I know. But these people in the union, they're working for years and they need to be paid what they deserve. The Instagram posts about the crew members not being able to spend time with their families and having so many hours. Some of these people work for 14, 16 hours. They go home, they only sleep for 4 hours, then they're back at work. That's just unacceptable. And no time to own a pet. I know that's gonna sound funny, but I was talking to my friend the other day who works as an assistant camera and she really wants a cat. But she says that there's no way that she can get a cat right now because she'll be working all the time and the cat will be alone at home most of the time. So it's just impossible to have a life and work in the film and TV industry. And in my opinion, doesn't have to be like that. And I also understand AMPTP resisting change because I know it's hard to make movies. I know it's hard to pay for movies. But I always say you gotta make your crew happy and treat them no less than your actors. So overall, I believe that these changes that WGA made and now IATSE is making, they are essential for the industry to thrive. So now it's crew members' turn to fight for change and fight for their rights and fight for fair conditions at their workplace. I wish IATSE the best. And as I said, check the resources down below in the video description if you're interested in this. And let me know in the comments below right now if you want me to make videos like this where I analyze what's happening in the industry right now. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.